Hey beauties, it's your girl Dupre, and today we're going to be dyeing the roots on my Queen Hair Bundles hair black. I have the Revlon Color Silk hair dye in the color Natural Black. Please do not get blue black because it will turn the hair more of a blue color since it is blonde. The Revlon Color Silk component comes with an applicator bottle with the developer in it, their hair color, and a complimentary conditioning pack that I will not be implementing in this video because I need to dye my hair on dried shampoo hair. And I will be using the gloves that come with the Revlon kit. You're going to need scissors to cut off the tip of the applicator bottle, and I also have these pre-cut foils that are mainly used with in cosmetologists with highlighting hair. The first thing I did was brush all the hair down so that way I don't get as many flyaways on the base as possible. I also secured it here with this hanger that you usually get at the store if you buy a skirt or something like that to really hold the track taut, so that way I can get as much penetration of the color as possible. So what you're going to do is pour the hair dye into the bottle applicator, which contains the developer, and you're going to cut the tip off the applicator and then shake it well. Make sure when you get to this step you already have your gloves on because you don't want to get hair dye on your hands. So you're just going to shake it up vigorously until you feel like it's even. And I forgot to say this part, but you will need an applicator brush to spread the product on the hair with. I'm going to use the applicator bottle first and concentrate it at the base of the track, so really where there's a lot of threading and wefting, and then I will use the applicator brush to spread the product out. So now I'm using the applicator bottle, as you can see, to distribute the product to the base of the hair track. Really make sure you get it as close to the weft as possible. Even on the weft, it will help, trust me. And then I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to spread the product down to about a little less than what how big I want the root to be, because with this being such a watery hair color, it will spread further than what you think. So first I'm just kind of aiming where I want to place the hair dye, and as you can see now I'm taking my brush and moving it left to right to really try to saturate the hairs at the root as much as possible. And since I did double weft this track on the hanger, I also want to get it onto the other side as much as possible. And as you can see now, the root is slowly getting more and more saturated with the hair color. Also do what I'm doing now, which is blending up and down to really create a smooth transition from this harsh black root color to whatever color you're going to be doing next. And if you're not doing a color next, then just do a smooth transition so that it looks like your root has naturally grown out. And really just make sure you're fully saturating the roots. And now I'm going to flip the hanger over and do what I did on that side to the other side. Again, using that applicator bottle to really concentrate it at the weft. Please make sure that you're pulling down as many flyaways as possible. The last thing we want is black strands of hair throughout our wig. So again, just pulling the product down, making sure that it's fully spread out, flicking it up and down to create a smooth transition. And really just making sure that these are saturated, and go left to right. So we have 3 brush techniques that are being displayed in this video. We have the initial spread out, which is just pulling it down. We have the massaging in the hair color, which is going left to right, and we have the natural smooth transition, or some people can call it a type of balayage, where we're putting the brush up and down and just doing small little up and down strokes. Now, as you can see here, I opened up a track since I did double it, and you can tell how it's splotchy and didn't really soak up to the root. That is to be expected. Make sure if you're double wefting that you are opening it up the wefts, whether you're dyeing your whole entire bundle or not, to really make sure that everything is even and fully saturated. So now what I'm doing is just focusing on the parts that I see are blonde where it should be black, and I'm just covering those up. This requires less product, and this is a lot easier than the initial process. The only thing that could be a little bit tricky about this is when you open it up, those hairs really want to stick together, as you can see in the back there. And you really want to make sure, if you're going to pull these hairs apart, that your gloves are clean and that you're not getting any black dye on this hair. It will be a harsh line of demarcation if you get black strands in this hair. So as you can see here, I have a new bundle. I am going to be dyeing for all 4 bundles the roots black, and I'm just repeating the same steps. So please just remember the 3 brush techniques, which is A, just pulling it down and spreading that product out. B, moving left to right to fully saturate the track. And C, just flicking some of the hair dye down to really get rid of that line of demarcation and make it look more like a natural grown out root.
I know where we can go. I know where we can go. And it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. I know where we can go, where the sunrise lasts forever, and it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Come get lost with me. 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 Just run away with me, darling. We'll get.
So I'm not only using the foil as a protection barrier between the floor and I'm also going to wrap up the roots in the foil, and what this is going to do is really segregate and help process that black hair dye. And just so you guys know, 1 box of hair dye worked for all 4 bundles and my lace frontal. Also, please keep in mind, if you don't see me doing all 3 techniques, I have done them. It's either been edited out or I had the camera turned off. But I use all 3 brush techniques for every section and every bundle in this hair, and it really came out to be a success. The roots were fully saturated, there was no splashiness, and there was minimal black strands throughout the hair. And this may be common sense, but I'm going to say it anyways. Keep in mind when you put the track on the hanger to really pull it taut, those pieces underneath the hanger are not going to be dyed. So when you move the hanger, please make sure you go back to where you had the hanger previously placed, where the clips are, and please cover that up with hair dye also.
I know where we can go. I know where we can go. And it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again.
And you want to rinse this out until the water runs clear. I do end up opening up the track a little bit and really making sure I get as much hair dye out of here as possible, because the last thing you want when you're sewing a wig is black fingers and fully black hair.
I know where we can go, where the sunrise lasts forever, and it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Come get lost with.
And now we're moving on to the lace frontal. As you can see, this first initial hair dye right there, I got a few spots through the lace. That's okay, because I'm going to go back and bleach the knots later. Right now I'm just focusing on fully saturating the roots because I don't want to open up a part to see blonde splotches in my hair. If you happen to get some on the lace, you can always just go back and bleach the knots later. But if you can, and you're more of a perfectionist than me, and you have a smaller applicator brush than me, please try to aim for a 1/2 centimeter away from the lace, because it's going to give it a natural bleached look where you can part it and it'll look like your scalp, and you won't have to go back and bleach your knots later. I'm not that big of a perfectionist when it comes to that, because I know nobody's going to be seeing the whole entire lace, and I know that I can use concealer, and I know that I can bleach my knots later. And as you can see, I'm taking horizontal partings, and I'm really just focusing on each section. So I first do the middle section, and then I'll move on to either the left or right side. And I try to make sure that I go through each section more like evenly, so that way when I go to part it, there won't be any splotches and there won't be any inconsistency. So really just try to make sure you get as straight of a parting as possible. If it's zigzagged and the hair dye doesn't saturate all the way through, you will find little blonde polka dots in your hair. I didn't have this problem because I fully saturated each section, but if you don't take the right sections, then this could be an issue for you. And in case you're wondering what happened to the applicator bottle at this point, sometimes I will fully just do applicator to hair like you see here, and other times I pour the applicator on the brush depending on just how I'm feeling. I was pouring it on the brush and I accidentally got a few drops on the hair, and that's why I went back to the applicator, touching the hair first. But as you can see, sometimes I will just pour it straight on the brush, and it just makes for a faster, easier, more spreadable consistency.
We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again.
And right here I ended up getting some hair dye on the brush, on the strands, which what happens when I pour the applicator on the bottle sometimes. So I take a towel and wipe it off, and then I spray some water to try to stop processing as much as possible. It still might take to the hair, but it won't be as potent. And this is a technique you can use if you happen to get black dye on any place that you don't want it to be.
And it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Come get lost with me. Come get lost with me. Come get lost with me. Come get lost with me.
And I didn't show the rinsing out process for this, but it's the same idea. Lay it flat in the sink and rinse it out. Maybe secure the hair in a ponytail or something, and try to get it as far away from the hair dye as possible, so it's not too big.
Real lost, we'll get real lost again.
Wig after I finished rinsing out the hair dye. I bleached the knots on my lace frontal and constructed the wig. Again, this is 4 bundles of 28 inches, and I fit all but maybe a couple inches of one little weft on there, and this is the 20-inch lace frontal. There is a little bit of brassy there, but I'm not worried about it because I do have concealer and it's fine. And here you can kind of see the dimension of where maybe some of the black kind of bled in and turned a little bit of gray, plus it being toned a couple times. And I have a little bit of splotchiness right there at the top, but there's nothing to be too worried about because it will just blend in with my purple dye later. But as you can see, for the most part, it was a success. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!